Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's section was going to be very much interesting because as a child or even now also as we have become an adult, we still become interested to know a story, or when someone was telling a story we become interested in that because we love to hear stories, and it became interesting for us to learn something new from their story, to gain some insight from their story. So today I'm going to tell some stories to you. So imagine a journey where 29 pilgrims, each with their own story to tell, gather for a trip to Canterbury. And this journey was filled with humor, wisdom, romance, and satire, which became the foundation of the English literature. And today we are going to dive into the world of Geoffrey Chaucer and his Canterbury Tales. So I am going to divide this Canterbury Tales in two parts because the Canterbury Tales is a long story. It's I'll be telling you about the Canterbury Tales, about the details of the Canterbury Tales later, but this video will be the first part of the Canterbury Tales, and I'll post the second part in my next video. So now let's dive into our topic and learn something interesting today. So, as I already said, that this Canterbury Tale was by Geoffrey Chaucer. So, let's learn something about Geoffrey Chaucer. So, Geoffrey Chaucer was born around 1343 and is often called as the father of English literature. And he died in 1400. So, in a time when Latin and French dominated the literary scene, Chaucer chose to write in English, making the literature accessible to a broader audience. And his most famous work, he has written so many works, but today, as we're going to learn about his most famous work, the Canterbury Tales. So, this Canterbury Tales is a collection of stories that captures the essence of the 14th century English society through a group of diverse pilgrims on a shared journey. So, before diving into each tale of the Canterbury Tales, let's first learn something about the Canterbury Tales, what this Canterbury Tale is. So, the Canterbury Tales begins with a general prologue where Chaucer introduced a group of 29 pilgrims who gather at the Tabard Inn and those pilgrims were preparing for a pilgrimage to the shrine of St. Thomas Becket in the Canterbury. If you have a note, if you have a pen and a paper, please note these things, that Geoffrey Chaucer was known as the father of English literature. He was born in 1343 and he died in the 1400. And he's most famous, he mostly wrote this Canterbury Tales in English, just because it will be accessible to everyone. And this Canterbury Tales was begins with a general prologue where Chaucer introduced a group of 29 pilgrims who gathered at Tabard Inn, preparing for a pilgrimage to the shrine of St. Thomas Becket in Canterbury. I hope you note these important points. Let's learn more. So, the host of the inn suggests that each pilgrim has to tell two tales on their way to Canterbury and two on the way back to entertain themselves to make the pilgrimage journey more interesting. So, this stage for one of the greatest collection of the storytelling in English literature. So now we are going to learn, as I already said, this video will be the first part of the Canterbury Tales. So here I'll not be providing you about all the tales, but I'll be telling you some of these tales, and I'll try not to make the video much longer so that you will all not get bored. I'll be posting, or I'll be sharing some of the tales, and in the next part I'll be sharing the other tales. So let's dive into our literary journey without wasting much time. So the first tale was of the Knight's Tale. So first we have the Knight's Tale, which was a story of chivalry, honor and rivalry. And it revolves around two knights, that is Archite and Palamon, who both fall in love with the beautiful Emily. A competition ensues, testing the bounds of love and brotherhood. And here I have provided a key takeaway from this tale, which will be somehow important from the exam point of view. That is, love is greater law than any made by man. So, this quote reflects the tale's central idea that the power of love surpasses all other tales. So this is all about the Canterbury Tales. You just have to remember. It's not that we have to remember the whole each tales of the Canterbury Tales. It's just we have to know something or other about the each tale, so that in exam they are not asking some comprehensive questions from this. They are just asking about some minor details from these tales, and I'll be providing you the exact minor details that were asked in the exam. So I hope you have a pen and paper, as I already said, and please note these minor details so that it will be easy for you to learn this information about each tale. So next we dive into the body and humorous Miller's tale. So this story is about a carpenter and his young wife Allison, and the two clerks who are vying for her attention, or who are trying for the attention of the carpenter's young wife. So the story is playful satire on love, trickery, and deception. And a famous quote from this is that this world is all a fleeting show for man's illusion given. And this quote underlines the tale's playful depiction of human folly and deceit. So please try to remember this. I am not providing you the old English version of these quotes. I am only telling you the modern English version of these quotes. If you want, you can check in the Google or any site for the old English quote of this. And the third tale is about the Reeves tale. So the Reeves tale focuses on the trickery and revenge. Two students outsmart a dishonest miller who has been cheating on them. And this tale emphasizes justice and retaliation. So the famous quote from the Reeves tale was that a thief shall be paid with the same measure he uses. So it's a moral lesson that once did come back around. Next was the Cook's Tale. So the Cook's Tale is an incomplete story about a wild apprentice named Perkin who loves to gamble and enjoy life. Though fragmentary, it's a glimpse into the carefree and reckless lifestyle of young men. So the famous quote from the Cook's Tale was, "Let each man mind his own business." And this line captures the theme of the carefree living and personal freedom of the Cook's Tale. Next is about the Man of Lost Tale. So the Man of Lost Tale narrates the story of a Constance, a devout Christian woman who endures a series of tragic events but ultimately finds her happiness. So it's a story about endurance and the faith the woman has. So a famous quote from the Man of Lost Tale was that no one knows the weight of another's sorrow. And this quote emphasizes the tale's theme of resilience in the face of hardship. So, one of the most famous stories of the Canterbury Tales was the Wife of Bath's Tale. So, the Wife of Bath's Tale challenges a traditional gender role. A knight in search of the answer to what woman must desire learns a lesson in sovereignty and respect. So the famous quote from the woman's Wife of Art's Tale was, "A woman wants the self-same sovereignty over her husband as over her lover." And this line underscores the theme of female autonomy and the pursuit of equality. So this is about the Wife of Art's Tale. It's all your duty to look more into the details of the each tale if you want to learn more, or if any of the tale interest you more. So next we are going to learn about the Friar's Tale. So in the Friar's Tale, Chaucer introduced a corrupt summoner who makes a pact with the devil which leads him to a darkly ironic twist of fate. So one of the famous quote from the Friar's Tale was that he that does evil shall have evil returned. So this tale serves as a cautionary story about greed and corruption. So next we are going to learn about the Summoner's Tale. So the Summoner's Tale is a satire about a greedy friar who deceives people for money. And it's a direct response to the Friar's Tale, which highlights the hypocrisy in the church. So one of the most famous quote from the Summoner's Tale was, "Preach not to me of patience and endurance, but give me that which belongs to me by the right." So this quote reflects the selflessness of the friar. Now we are going to learn about the Clock's Tale. So the Clock's Tale is a story of virtue, patience, and loyalty. And this tale centers on Griselda, a woman who endures several trials from her husband Walter. So please try to remember these names that I am telling you about the each tale. One of the famous quote from the Clark's Tale was, "For patience is a noble virtue, and strong ones bend before it." And this quote reflects the tale's theme of unwavering faith and patience. So with this tale, I ended the my first half of the Canterbury Tales. So the Canterbury Tales is a timeless masterpiece that captures the complexities of human nature through its vivid characters and diverse stories. And each tale represents a unique perspective on life, love, morality, and society, which makes the Canterbury Tale a work that continues to resonate even today. I hope this overview of the first 9 to 10 tales has inspired you to explore Chaucer's work further and appreciate the foundation of English literature. So, if you all enjoyed this deep dive into the Geoffrey Chaucer and the Canterbury Tales, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on classic literature, and wait for the second part to upload on this Canterbury Tales, and let me know in the comments which tale you found most intriguing and why. See you all in the next part of this video.